Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. I know I haven't been here in forever. I pulled a muscle in my back, and I apparently pulled more than one, and I couldn't move around very much, and it hurt to sit up here and record. But I'm here. So we're going to be working on my long dog, and I'm just going to tell you guys what I'm going to do today and what's been going on. So we're going to get started. And first of all, let me move this over to this side so I can see what I'm doing. I don't know if y'all can see, but I know there's a shadow. I'm sorry. So I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody has had a good weekend. I am. We're okay. Besides the fact that I pulled a muscle, and yeah, it's been slow moving around here for the last couple of days, and I could barely move yesterday. Today it's not so bad, but yesterday I couldn't do anything, and I knew I did it, but when I did it, I didn't think anything of it because it didn't seem to hurt. And until I went to go sit, in like here, and I was like, okay, this isn't funny. So I really thought I had done something really really bad to my back because of the simple fact that it hurt. And so I went to a doctor because I thought I did something. I thought I had a dislocated disc or something. And so I ended up going to the doctor yesterday, and come to find out, like I said, I had pulled two muscles. And he, well, not he, my doctor's a she. And she's like, yeah, you've pulled two muscles because if you had done something with one of your discs in your back, you wouldn't have been able to get up and walk in here. So I was like, oh my gosh. So she told me what to do. And she said, how long ago did you do it? And I told her, I said, I'm not sure. I think I did it, like a week ago, but I'm not sure because it didn't really bother me until a couple of days ago. And this is not working the way I want it to. I'm going to have to take this out. This is too high up because I didn't realize when I did this that I was too high up. So bear with me, guys. So, yeah, so she did the normal thing of, checking stuff, checking, what needed to be checked. And she was like, no, you didn't you didn't do anything with the disc. All your discs are still fine. And which I didn't know that, don't ask me. I don't know. I just go by what my doctor says. So she just told me to ice it, rotate ice and heat. So that's what I've been doing. And this morning it's really, really tight in my back. And I know that I can tell that, that there's a muscle in there that's pulled. And I told her, I said, well, the funny thing about the whole thing is I didn't realize that I had done anything until I had sneezed yesterday. And of course I went to see her yesterday afternoon, so when I went to see her. But I sneezed yesterday while I was doing the dishes, and I guess that just made it worse than what it was because I could hardly move, and it took everything in me to just get myself back upright. And yeah, it was. And she said, it's been pulled for a while. It looks like it's been pulled for a while. I was like, oh great. And I don't even remember doing it. That's the funny thing. So Yeah, so she just told me to rotate between a ice pack and a heating pad. And I have, but you can tell this morning that it's a little tight. Yeah, I can feel it, but it's not stopping me. I mean, it hurt so bad, guys, that I could hardly move for all day yesterday, and I did what I needed to do, like, all week this week, and it hurt to even sit here and do my Playing With Me video. And I just thought, okay, it's going to go away, but no. So that's why I haven't been on YouTube or on Facebook or on Instagram or on Twitter or anywhere. So I'm okay. Of course, Justin, he was like, "Mom, don't move around if it's bothering you that much." I'm like, I don't know why it's bothering me that much. That's the problem. So we're all good here. I mean, they've just been kind of helping me out because they know that it hurt, and they wouldn't let me lift anything other than a freaking glass of, something to drink, and which was kind of funny because that's how they are. But I had a whole bunch of stuff planned out for this week, and I had to put it aside, and and of course I was getting upset about it, and Miranda was like, "Mom, why?" And I was like, "Because I'm learning, I'm trying to do this every week now, where I can just plan stuff out that I need to do for the week, so I don't have to sit down here every day and think about it." And I said, and it's kind of, I'm kind of getting into the schedule. And she's like, "Mom, it's not the end of the world." So she had to, make me feel a little bit better. And but I do. So it's all good. And no, I didn't. I mean, it's not an excuse as to why I didn't record. I could have probably recorded from my recliner, but I don't have set up over there for me to, set it up so where you guys can watch me stitch or whatever. Because the last time I've tried to do that, it's so far away you can't see what I'm doing, and so it's really really hard to sit down and it's like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, where I'm gonna put the camera, and yeah, so it's just easier for me to sit here and do it from here. But yeah, so other than that, everything's going good. Little dude is on the honor roll with his virtual school, even though they don't call it honor roll. I forget what they called it yesterday. But he's proud of himself, and he got this grin on his face, and he's one of these ones that when he does something goofy or whatever, he gets this goofy grin on his face. So he was really really proud of himself yesterday and the day before, and he was getting upset because he had an assignment that I guess he did Monday, and well, it didn't get turned in, and so he has a counselor that he meets with every week, and it's not just him. I mean, it's everybody, because it's virtual school, and I guess they want to make sure that all the students are doing what they need to do. And okay, I missed that one. Okay. So anyway, she was sitting there with him, and she could tell something was wrong, and um and he told her, he says, "Look, I turned this assignment in on Monday, and the teacher that he had the assignment for is pretty good about getting it graded, before the 3 days is up." So he you could tell that he was kind of like upset about it. And so she's like, "Well, right now, and of course it had been submitted. So she was like, just give it, a couple of hours and see what happens. And sure enough, he, it was graded. So he's, doing pretty good with that. And, so he's, and she's like, you don't have, don't get upset about it. It's okay. And he's like, and I, she the way she said it, it kind of hurt us, kind of offended him, I guess, because, I don't know. I was just sitting there listening. And I explained to her, I said, look, I said, he's been doing pretty good, making sure all of his assignments are turned in, and he doesn't want a bad grade. And it, he's, you got to understand. And I said, because right now, all of his grades are, A's and B's. And I said, he doesn't want, one assignment to bring it down because of something that, somebody can't be bothered to grade. And of course, she kind of, I guess, took it wrong. And I explained to her, I said, look, I said, I'm not mad at anybody. I said, I just want somebody to understand that, this is not, he's not, nobody's upset. We just want you to understand. And because she wanted him to, start planning out his day, because she didn't think he was, planning his day out very well. And I explained to her, I said, look, I said, he does just fine. We have no issues. He's, turning in all of his work. I said, if you look at his grades, he's got, A's, B's, and maybe one C. Well, she, just kind of gave me this look, because, it's virtual and they do it on the internet, so forth. And I just told her, I said, look, I said, I get you're trying to help. I said, but we have a system. We have a routine for him, and he knows what to do. And I said, it's a little late in the game to be changing it now. And she just kind of just sat there, and she says, well, he's not answering me. And I said, well, you need to understand. I said, he doesn't like being on camera. I said, he doesn't like, that's just the way he is. And of course, as soon as, he said that, as soon as she said that, she was like, was there something wrong with him? And I said, no, there's nothing wrong with him. I said, he doesn't like sitting in front of a webcam and, and then having to explain himself, especially when I know what's going on. And I said, and, I'm not saying this, and I tried to explain to her that this was not against anybody in general or whatever. And she kind of got offended. And I said, it's nothing against you. I said, he's always been that way. I said, even when I'm on a Zoom, he does not like to be the center of attention on a webcam. He will not, get in front of the camera or anything. I said, it's normal for him. And I said, and, I told her, I said, look, I was a little less, I was a little leery of putting him in virtual school again, just because of this reason. And she said, what reason is that? And I said, because, I said, I was an educator. I get it. I said, but you all need to realize and understand that, 3 business days is a little, crazy for grading assignments. I said, I understand, why, but, it causes problems, especially, for the student when they think, okay, cool, I've done the assignment. And then when it doesn't get graded and we get the weekly progress reports, their grades are not what they're supposed to be. and so forth. And I said, and it makes it hard. And I said, he was on the fence about going, back to actual school or sitting here in front of a camera and doing this. She's like, well, you can't tell. And I said, no, you can't. I said, but, you're, she and I had this back and forth and back and forth. And I told her, I said, when you sit here and tell him, that he's not planning his day out correctly and that his grades are suffering for it, but then you turn around and contradict yourself. I said, please make up your mind. I said, this boy busts his butt, every single day. I said, he gets on Fridays when he doesn't even have to make sure that all of his assignments are done. And I said, make up your minds. So finally she, I don't know, kind of just, against her better judgment, I guess, or what she thought was her better judgment, she let it go. And she, told him to have a good weekend. And I was just not thrilled. I mean, she's never had an issue before with him until now. And I don't know what caused it. I really don't, I don't care. But it is what it is. And she just kind of, I don't know. And I get it. It's probably getting to that point now where, because school is going to be over in 3.5 months. And I get it. But, yeah, it was frustrating yesterday. And, of course, me not feeling, me being in pain from my back didn't help matters any. And she could tell. And she was like, well, you don't have to be rude. I'm like, I'm not trying to be rude. I said, you need to understand, I'm in pain. And so it's, but I mean, he's doing really well. I get, I was looking at his progress when they sent it to me the other day, and he's doing pretty good. He's, all, full of himself. And every time I tell him that he's doing good, he just looks at me and he's like, he gets his grin on his face. And it's funny. And I told him, I said, dude, ego much? And he just looked at me. He says, no, I'm just proud of myself. I'm like, okay. So he, yeah, he's, he's trying and he's doing what he can. And I asked him last night about virtual school for this year, or, homeschooling for this coming school year. And he just looked at me and says, I don't know yet. I haven't decided. I was like, oh boy. I said, well, if you want to go back to school, just tell me. And I said, and then if you want to do homeschool, then, let me know and we'll, do it for next year. So, he's like, okay. So, yeah, that's kind of on the fence. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen because I haven't gotten anything to tell me anything different. So, we'll see. But, and of course, not only that, he's kind of got himself in, what do I say? He's kind of, antsy too, because he's waiting. He can't wait for Justin to move. Justin's moving out in early June and July. And, when he does that, he gets the bedroom all to himself. And he looked at me, he says, Mom, can't he move now? And I'm like, son, I don't know when he's moving. And he's like, well, it's not fair. I'm like, I know. And he's like, it's kind of messed up that I have to stay in there with him until Sissy moves. And I said, I'm sorry. And that's the only thing that's frustrating is waiting for, Justin to say, okay, Mom, here goes. And so he's like, can he just go now? I was like, no, son, he can't. He can't just go now. That's not going to happen. But yes, Miranda's moved back home. It was her choice because my best friend is they rent the house they're living in, they rent. Well, the landlady decided that she wants to sell it. And she was like, and she and I and my best friend talked about it, and we decided, all three of us, came to an agreement. Okay, Miranda can move back home until we figure out what's going to happen and if you're going to, with the house or not. So she's back here until we figure that out. 1, 2, 3. And then, we'll see what happens. So, she's, working on getting her bedroom straightened up right now to somewhat, into, livable until, we figure out what's going on. And she just looked at me. She says, I never realized I had so much crap. And I was like, well, I mean, you got more clothes than I do. She just looks at me. She's like, yeah, but I can never find anything to wear. Okay, if you say so. So, yeah, so she's home, and we're going to go from there and see what happens between now and I think it's May that my best friend said. I don't remember. I have to find out. But we will see. We're just kind of, waiting to find out what's going to happen. Other than that, everything is just, okay here. And it's been rather quiet here. So, today, good grief, today I don't have much planned. I'm going to take it easy again today, and then, and stitch, and then I'm going to, ice my back up and everything, do what I need to do for my back. But other than that, I just plan to stitch and listen to a book. I'm not sure yet what book. And then, I did work on, I have a list on my NetGalley that I needed to go through, and I went through and kind of did it by, every month to see what books I needed to read in that time, and I kind of wrote it down, and that way I have an idea of what I need to do and so forth. So yeah, that's, been basically all I've done. And that's really all that's happening. Now, Justin just left for work, and it's supposed to rain, so I hope he doesn't get caught in it. So that's really all I've been doing today, or, all week. I mean, besides trying to move around with a couple pulled muscles in my back. It really, really sucks. But, yeah. So that's, it for today. I know I told you guys, I made a comment that I was going to possibly start diamond painting, 1 day a week. I haven't decided yet how I'm going to do that. I need to work that into the schedule. So that's it for me today, guys. I'm sorry that it, was, almost a week. But, I hope everybody has a good day, and I will see everybody next time. Thank you so much for watching and being patient while I was laid up for a week. Can't move. And I will see everybody next time. Bye, guys.